Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey. Today we're going to cover the cruise news that you need to know if you have an upcoming trip in the next couple of months. We have the Bahamas tightening restrictions that could cause some major upsets throughout the whole industry for cruise ships sailing down into any islands in the Bahamas. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know coming up. Also, Norwegian Cruise Line is in the news again. Their vaccine mandates don't seem like they're going away. We'll give you the latest news on when the vaccine requirement may be going away for Norwegian Cruise Line. I'm not sure if there's any light at the end of the tunnel. And we've got a cruise port in Florida has announced that they are seeing some major good news. Let's talk about that in a few minutes. First, we are going to talk about Royal Caribbean. They are actually doing some really neat things in the industry right now, and one of those things is being extra transparent about COVID cases on board their cruise ships. We have an article here from thepointsky.com. This is written by Gene Sloan. The article is entitled, "How Many Cruisers Are Testing Positive for Coronavirus on Ships?" Royal Caribbean CEO breaks it down. Some cruisers are testing positive for COVID-19 on board ships, but the numbers are quite small. On average, just 1 to 2 passengers a week on vessels sailing with more than 1,000 people. Those are the words from Michael Bailey, CEO of Royal Caribbean, the world's largest cruise line. I think Carnival might be the world's largest cruise line. I'm not sure that that is absolutely correct. At me in the comments if you know the world's largest cruise line. I'm pretty sure it's Carnival, but it may be Royal Caribbean. Things change, you know. COVID had some weird things with some ships. In an extraordinarily candid Facebook post that addressed the current situation with COVID-19 on cruise ships, Bailey said that the line was seeing about 1 to 2 passengers test positive for the illness on a typical sailing. The CEO noted that the positive cases are popping up on ships despite the fact that the line is requiring passengers over the age of 2 to be tested for COVID-19 prior to boarding. We have a quote from Bailey. "How is that possible? Testing captures status at the point of time, and if the guest is incubating infection, then the pre-cruise test may miss it." Bailey said that the passengers testing positive for COVID-19 on ships included passengers vaccinated against the virus. Such passengers typically are asymptomatic, he said. Royal Caribbean is requiring all passengers over the age of 12 on most sailings to be fully vaccinated, and Bailey said that the line's ships have been sailing with 90 to 97% of passengers vaccinated against the illness. So that is some really cool news coming out from the CEO of Royal Caribbean. We also have some more really good news coming from Royal Caribbean. It sounds like they're curbing the market on treating their cruise passengers right during these hard times. We have an article from Royal Caribbean blog by Matt Hochberg, the founder, entitled, "Royal Caribbean is flying passengers home on a private jet if they have COVID-19. Cruise ship passengers that test positive for coronavirus are not just left behind at the nearest port. In fact, Royal Caribbean takes the health and safety of passengers, crew, and the communities their ships visit seriously enough to hire private transportation home. Unlike other industries that have had little to no government regulation regarding their COVID-19 response and protocols, the cruise industry has been held to a much higher standard with requirements and oversight." He couldn't have said that better, because honestly, I think the cruise industry throughout the whole pandemic was treated the most unfairly of any industry that I saw. If you disagree, please comment below. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, go ahead and do that while you're down there as well. Give us a thumbs up. I want to remind you, tomorrow, we have our first giveaway to celebrate the MSC Divina cruise that Midships is going on next month. So you want to be subscribed so you don't miss how to win these awesome towel bands and these cruise lanyards. Let's get back into the article. Exemplifying the cruise industry's commitment to the welfare of its guests is the fact that anyone that is tested positive for COVID during the course of a cruise has been flown home on a private jet. This is Royal Caribbean specific. Other cruise lines will just disembark you to the nearest hospital, as we found out yesterday Carnival has done to some people on board of the Vista. Considering the expense and logistics in flying anyone home at the last minute on private transportation, the fact that Royal Caribbean is using private jets and limousines for those afflicted with COVID is quite impressive. So that is really cool news coming out of Royal Caribbean. And we have some awesome news, some really great news about the cruise industry as a whole. Port Canaveral is projecting record cruise revenues for 2022 from the Orlando Sentinel by Richard Tribeau. Port Canaveral is projecting a banner rebound in its financial projections for the 2022 fiscal year. Port CFO Michael Poole presented the initial operating and capital budget proposal at a Port Commission meeting Wednesday that projects $85.1 million in cruise revenue for the fiscal period from October 1st to September 30th. Wow. So just like we thought, just like we all thought, the appetite for cruising is off the charts. We are back, baby. This industry is back. It's one of the safest ones, the safest way that you can vacation. Things are looking up. However, we have something that might set your next cruise back, and I need to tell you about it. If you are cruising into the Bahamas starting September 3rd, we have some new requirements that you need to know about. CruiseIndustryNews.com. Bahamas sets strict vaccination criteria for cruise passengers. New regulations in the Bahamas are set to go into effect September 3rd, 2021, essentially requiring cruise passengers to be fully vaccinated. Starting on September 3rd, cruise ships must provide a crew and passenger manifest ahead of calling to the port medical officer, disclosing the vaccination status of all on board. So any ship sailing to any island in the Bahamas has to be fully vaccinated. And this is indefinitely starting September 3rd. So if you are sailing on a ship out of Florida that's not currently Norwegian Cruise Lines, and you have a cruise in September, you might have some changes to your itinerary coming up because these new regulations sort of clash with that Florida law that says you cannot ask people their vaccine status. I know Norwegian has gotten around this by going to court, but this is not yet settled law, and a lot of things are still up in the air. A lot of balls are still moving. So we've just got to pay close attention. And like I said yesterday, you need to be checking every week for protocols that you need to follow. If you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to show you an awesome resource that may help you determine those protocols. Let's finish this article here. All passengers 12 and up will need to be fully vaccinated, and health protocols previously submitted by the cruise line need to be approved, according to Eyewitness News Bahamas. The ruling, and this is very important, the ruling is said to apply to all cruise ports in the Bahamas, including private islands. We're talking MSC Reserve. We're talking Coco Key. We are talking all the cruise private islands in the Bahamas also have to require fully vaccinated cruises. So this is going to be a big change on the horizon. We're just going to have to take this in stride and see what happens. Now, insult to injury, or maybe this one will make you happy. We've got Frank Del Rio, the CEO of Norwegian Cruise Lines, came out a few days ago hard to require every single person in the world to take a vaccine because he says he knows better than the rest of us. And that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, Frank. We're entitled to ours. I don't care either way. Frankly, it's your business. So Norwegian Cruise Line, they are extending their 100% vaccinated cruise requirement through the end of the year. There we go. This is the news in an article from thepointsguy.com by Ashley Kosiolik. Norwegian Cruise Lines has extended its all passengers must be fully vaccinated order to sail by 3 more months through December 31st of 2021. The original expiration date for the requirement, which is part of the line's safe sail protocols was set to expire the end of October. Norwegian is currently the only line that is committed to 100% vaccination of both passengers and crew for all sailings in the United States. It is of note that most major cruise lines out of the U.S. require all of their crew members to currently be vaccinated. So they are trying to keep you safe as best as they can. It's great that we're able to have cruise lines decide if they want to serve all customers or if they only want to serve some customers. It seems Frank Del Rio and Norwegian Cruise Lines are only going to serve a percentage of the population of their potential consumers, at least until the end of the year. I would expect this to be an indefinite requirement on board Norwegian Cruise Lines going forward. So don't even bother booking a Norwegian cruise unless you've had your jab, right? So we've got one little tip that I'm going to share with you here. This is a really good way to find out the protocols that are currently in place on a cruise ship that you are planning to go to in the near future. And this is an article, a blog post from cruiseline.com entitled Return to Cruising Ship Guides. This is not an exhaustive list. This is not a complete list. Protocols change rapidly, and you should be checking with your cruise line on their websites, but this is a great reference to give you an idea of the protocols as they currently stand for a handful of ships. We have a handful of ships for Carnival, Celebrity, Crystal Cruises, Disney, Holland America, MSC, Norwegian, Princess, Royal Caribbean. So these are all of the ships that are available to give you an example protocol for your return to cruising guidelines. This article, like everything I read today, will be linked below. Do not forget to get subscribed and tune in tomorrow for the giveaway episode. And until next time, we'll see you at Midships.